100,000 in sales per month. I just hit a milestone, guys. 109,672 to be exact. If annualized, this will be a pace of over $1.3 million. And this isn't even my real job. My name is Tyler Short. I'm a licensed pharmacist, and my side hustle is flipping sports cards. In this video, I'm gonna tell you not only how I did it, why I did it, but also quite literally how I predicted it would happen. First, if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Would love to have you stick around, so please hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy the perspective of my cardboard journey. Okay, starting off with the how. If you are not new to the channel, you likely know how I did it. You've watched from the beginning. Now what do I do on eBay? I buy sports cards, get them graded, and sell them as fast as I can. It's that simple. And I'm so confident in the model, I actually predicted that it would happen. Now, I've been in the sports card game for multiple decades, since I was a little kid, 7 years old, and I've been grading cards for just about over 20 years. My first order that I ever submitted was to Beckett in 1999. I did not start grading in a large volume really until 2008, and then I switched over to PSA, grading with them exclusively, for the most part, full-time, in 2016. So, you want the blueprint? Here it is. It's this simple. It's a math equation. This goes back to the video I linked during the pandemic about why you should never invest in sports cards, but rather flip. The origins to that thought originated in August of 2018. I spent a couple hours that day in August at a Starbucks. While there, I created this. This was a roadmap, an Excel spreadsheet of a series of formulas and equations showing quite literally how it is possible to complete the idea that I had in my head, as well as how it could scale and on what time horizon. And pre-pandemic, it was scaling at a pace far faster than I had ever imagined or predicted in this spreadsheet. Now, when I created this Excel document, I saw the numbers at the bottom showing just how much revenue I would eventually begin pulling in and just how much margin I would be able to make on these cards. That seemed like it would be in such a distant future. It was not easy to necessarily comprehend. It seemed so far out of reach. However, I was witnessing it play out in real time.
Graded cards is where it's at. That's where the market's going. That's what people are interested in. And it's kind of fun.
Essentially, what this is illustrating is every single month, you have a finite amount of money that you can plug into sports cards. So let's say that you work at your job, you pay all of your living expenses, you pay off all of your bills, you have money left over. Well, instead of blowing that money on consumer goods, you take that money and put it into sports cards. And because I think I'm pretty good at what I do, I can predict with a certain accuracy, a specific ROI that I can achieve, which pre-pandemic was quite high. And assuming you take that money, buy the cards, flip them after grading them, which has a specific time lag factor to it as you wait on the cards to be graded, and then as you wait to sell them, you now have a margin. You roll that margin and the principal back into buying more sports card purchases as fast as you can, and eventually what you get is a snowball effect, where your monthly margins are amplified. Rather than taking my salary and throwing it into stocks or other traditional investments, which, let me clarify, I do max out my 401k. Diversification is great, and I'm glad that I've done that. All other funds, after expenses were paid, went into buying sports cards. Now again, pre-pandemic, this model was really kind of wonky, especially during the pandemic, because PSA shut down. My wait time went from 3 months to 4 months to 7 months to 9 months, then 13 months, even 18 months in some instances. And during that time, I was holding depreciating assets, or PSA was. That's called a market maturing at an exponential rate, where there's a lot of people who are jumping in at the same time, and now you have competition. Now we are post-pandemic, and the irony is so many people have said cards are dead because so many people are in it. This is too competitive. So many people said that you can't make anything flipping anymore. Well, to them I say, you are wrong. This model is something I've done before the pandemic and now post-pandemic, and I will likely be able to continue doing this into the future so long as the card market remains relevant. Now, this is likely different from the mainstream and now predominant philosophy that is so pervasive on the YouTube interwebs, which tells you that you need to invest in sports cards. However, on this channel, I've opposed this philosophy, and in 2020, I so eloquently demonstrated via video that I released showing why it's better to flip sports cards mathematically as opposed to investing in them. I urge anyone who has not seen the mathematical breakdown and philosophical approach to this strategy to watch this video, which I will link. But to summarize, using an example, since the great success of Patrick Mahomes, who is a player that I bought very early and have enjoyed immense success flipping throughout the years, any speculative cardboard investor who has bought into the investing philosophy have since been looking for the next Patrick Mahomes to invest in. And in fact, many have spent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, on key rookie cards of NFL rookie QBs over the past few years in hopes that the appreciation realized will match that of Patrick Mahomes. In fact, many of the viewers of this video have likely watched all of the different buys from all the influencers of people chasing the next Patrick Mahomes, hoping to invest, speculating on them. And what have I been doing? Slowly flipping in the background. So unfortunately, because of certain key influences pushing and advocating for this narrative, it has cost the collective hobby quite literally millions of dollars. Meanwhile, I have flipped 300, 400, 500 Patrick Mahomes autographs, rookies, key case hit inserts, parallels for a relatively steady and predictable rate of return non-stop since I began buying them. I've always had this saying for those who are early viewers: take the base hits. Do not keep swinging for the fences and going for home runs. This is the accumulation of base hits. While the investors continued to watch their speculative investments shrink in value, I kept and continue to keep churning out a consistent ROI. So what factors led to this success? First, efficiency. Selling this much means I'm buying equally as much, and given that there are 24 hours in a day, 7 to 8 allocated to sleep, 1 to 2 allocated to working out and eating, 8 allocated to my actual career, that means I have to be incredibly efficient in not only how I sell, but also how I buy. Various systems have been put into place such that I do not waste any time having to deal with operational inefficiency. Operational inefficiency makes me want to pull out my eyeballs. This goes down to inventory tracking, ROI tracking, logging sales, maintaining a current and up-to-date cost of goods sold number for inventory remaining. When buying, knowing what to search for, how to search for specific cards on eBay, efficient market research, efficient player performance research, very efficient time spent prepping orders to be sent to PSA, efficiency in the bidding process. Literally each and every concept I could give a 15 to 20 minute didactic lecture on how to do and do well. But in this video, the point is simple. You have to be insanely efficient, as well as insanely organized, which I make mistakes. I'm not a perfect seller. I'm not perfect in everything that I buy, but the systems that I have put in place, the discipline to adhere to those systems, you cannot sell $100,000 a month on your own as a side hustle without it. Second, it actually pays to know what you are doing. The Pareto principle is largely at play in the sports card market, and for those unfamiliar with it, it simply states that across a variety of different situations, 80% of the outcomes are likely due to 20% of the causes. Put another way, 80% of the profit generated from flipping sports cards is likely due to approximately 20% of the best flippers flipping them. Another way of saying this, the average person does not do well flipping cards, so it pays to be intelligent. See, flipping cards is peculiar and quite complex. It combines multiple levels of intelligence and knowledge and requires proficiency in each of these levels to gain an edge on the market. So let's review a couple of those. First, you have to know sports. It's very hard to buy where part of the purchase intention is due to the perceived speculation based on athletic achievement or performance. If you do not know sports, you cannot accurately over time anticipate athletic achievement, thus resulting in cardboard appreciation. Okay, so let's say that you know sports, but do you know cards? Another level of knowledge and intelligence. And this is simply a knowledge of the market. You have to know what you are buying. You have to have a feeling for what drives the demand for items you are attempting to buy, what external factors influence the demand for that item, and the resulting price fluctuations, the market dynamics, the various sets, the hierarchy of demand for that player, that year, that set, that specific card. Also, if grading, you have to know what to grade, how to identify gradable sets, anticipate future values. You have to be an expert level underwriter in not only raw card purchases, but also what you can get out of the card in the anticipated grade that you can confidently predict that you will get in 3, 4, 5 months. It also pays to have an advanced feel for microeconomics, not macro, microeconomics within the card space. You have to have an advanced feel for time value of money. You have to have an advanced understanding of opportunity cost. You have to have an advanced understanding of price discovery. You have to have an advanced understanding of economic psychology and how that plays a role in varying demand. You have to have an understanding of price elasticity and inelasticity. In negotiations, you have to have a temperament that is unwavering and is not easily influenced by external factors or voices. There's a lot of things that you have to know outside of just knowing sports. Now, the good news is you can learn them. They are easy to learn, and sports cards, especially if you start in the hobby at a young age, teaches you all of the lessons that I've just gone through. See, I spent 10 years in post-secondary education, 6 years in undergrad, 2 victory laps, 4 years in pharmacy school getting a PharmD, overlapping with 3 years of business school getting an MBA, followed by 2 additional years of pharmacy residency training. Now, of course, some of this training is specific to my profession of pharmacy, but nowhere in my didactic curriculum did I get a complete crash course understanding of these business concepts at anywhere near the level that you would get them through trial and error on your own in a market such as flipping sports cards. I confidently say that. Third, it pays to be early and right. Throughout my flipping history, I've been early on a lot of great players. I've been early on Mike Trout, Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr., Steven Strasburg, Patrick Mahomes. Of course, there's going to be big names that are released that come out high and stay high or crash. I make money on all those, but it pays to be early and to pick the right names. Fourth, so we've talked about efficiency. We've talked about competence and knowledge. The next ingredient is work. Ah, yes, a 4-letter word, work, that scares so many people. So you think that you're going to get to selling $100,000 a month without work and not putting in work? You think that you can automate all this? This number is a result of insane hard work. There is no special automation program. I know, I talked about efficiency earlier. There is a difference in working as efficiently as possible versus automation and automating every aspect of this model. You cannot automate every aspect of this model. In some instances, the pieces that you do in fact automate are in fact detrimental because that automation is costing you money, something you may not realize because you have not yet to learn one of the economic lessons that I just went over. So no, you have to work. And I enjoy this work. Whenever I'm sitting down watching a game, I have eBay pulled up and I'm working. Whenever I'm in the bathroom, I'm on the toilet, I'm working. Whenever I'm on the treadmill, I'm looking at cards, I'm buying cards. Everywhere I go, if I take a 4-hour flight, do you know if I get isolated in a plane, I can pay $9, $10, $20 for the Wi-Fi. I will literally take the time in the air to buy enough cards to pay for my flight. Literally, that is a blessing for me to be given 4 hours of just sitting there, scurrying and navigating the market. I am obsessed with this and I love the work. The last ingredient, quite honestly, I just love this hobby. And in most things that I'm involved in, I am insanely competitive. I hate to lose, whether it's pickup basketball game, video games, and even card flipping. I am addicted to flipping sports cards because of the competition. And I see this as a way that I can exert my dominance over a market in a way that I can't really do in a lot of other aspects of life, whether it be other markets, whether it be my career. In this market with sports cards, there is a direct correlation of the effort that I exude to the value created, meaning the more input that I put in, or the more time and effort that I put in, the more value or output that I create. And I directly benefit from that output. As a result, I go at this as hard as I can. And I love it because I directly benefit from all of the hard work that I'm putting into this. It's pretty simple. It's really that simple. Now, if you guys like this video, feel free to follow all the work that I do, all the PSA mail days, all the educational videos that I put out. I try to put out consistent content, but every now and then I get sucked down this rabbit hole of buying cards because that's honestly what I enjoy the most. I enjoy finding opportunity and then flipping it. I just really, really enjoy it. If you like this, please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know if you find this helpful. All right, we'll see you next time.